What's up everybody, Fortexfiend here. Welcome back again to another video on SD Gundam G Generation Eternal. You guys know the routine. They've dropped some information for the upcoming units, pilots, and supporter warship, and we're going to ask that question, should you be pulling for them? Before I get started on that, reminder, don't forget to hit subscribe if you enjoy what you see on this channel. Hit that notification bell so you're not missing out on future uploads. Leave a like or dislike and comment down below. Are you excited for these units? Are you going to be pulling? Don't forget the links to my Discord as well as my Twitch channel, all in the video description as well as the pinned comments. So we have the information right here and we're just going to go ahead and get started. So we have the Pyscho ZAKU. We know that this is going to be a supporter type unit based on the trailer that they teased. The aesthetic looks amazing. I just can't stop raving about how cool this thing really looks. And I encourage you guys to watch the movie because the movie is really awesome. So the teaser that they featured is that it is equipped with an EX weapon called Barrage EX that has that debuff where damage taken from special weapons is up to 25%. This is going to be higher when you level this up to level 5. And it also has an ability that increases its own mobility by 15%. So it has like an innate passive for potentially higher evasion, it looks like, with mobility. And also with that higher mobility, remember, when it comes to PvP such as Master League, they do take into account that stat when it comes to which units get to go first and things like that. And when it comes to the debuff, that debuff is always going to be useful. And the reason I say that is a lot of the higher tiered, if we're going to be talking about tiers here, damage dealers such as, for example, Sazabi or even Strike Freedom have their EX attacks as special weapons. So this debuff is very useful for that. It also complements Char ZAKU 2 because that is a DPS unit that does have an EX ability that does have a special damage. All in all, solid unit. I like it. It's not a limited featured unit though, so remember, if you miss out on this banner, these units will show up on future banners. Let's go ahead and take a look at the pilot for Pyscho ZAKU, which is Daryl Lorenz, a supporter pilot that has up to 2 support attack encounters. That's already pretty standard we've seen for these UR supporter pilots, and it's always good to have that. And then his passive is interesting because take a look at this. Also, the maximum range of beam and physical weapons is increased by 1 when he's piloting the Pyscho ZAKU, and his vigor is supercharged or higher. So where have we seen this? We've seen this with the recent pilot, the attacker Amurore. It looks like they're kind of following up on that now, giving us a pilot that could do that. I think that's cool. I actually think this pilot is going to be pretty solid. I'm excited to see his other abilities when he is officially released. But all in all, I like it. I like what they gave him. I like how they're giving him a really powerful passive, in my opinion, that further increases the range of the weapons that he uses, which again is very useful because if you're able to position more effectively, you could also prevent yourself from getting counterattacked and things like that when you're doing like harder PvE stages or even Master League, even though that is AI controlled. Okay, next unit is going to be the Gundam Full Armor Thunderbolt. So this is a durability unit. It looks like they had a little typo there on this slide, durability B. Barrage EX, I like how both of these units have the exact same name for their EX skills. What this does is it decreases the enemy's physical weapons power by 25%. Okay, so they gave it that brand new debuff because we've started seeing these newer debuffs where they specifically decrease the weapon capabilities of specific weapon capabilities of enemies, and we saw that with the recent units that they released, even with the development units. And it also has an ability that reduces damage taken by 30% when an enemy attacks with physical weapons. Useful. I think this is more useful definitely for PvE because for PvP we've seen that the AI tends to use EX abilities more, which usually has that damage nullification. But all in all, solid. I like it. I think I prefer what the Pyscho ZAKU had, but I like it. And also, again, the aesthetic on this unit looks super cool. Let's take a look at his pilot. Okay, Fleming, durability, up to 2 extra support defense, which is fantastic. I always like the pilots that have that double support defense when it comes to durability, and he can restore his own HP by 50%. So what's more to say there? Hopefully his other passives and skills are also, complementary to what he can already do, but I like it. I definitely do like it. 2 support defenses is always awesome. Great for PvE, great for PvP. And finally, the supporter warship, Claudia and Beehive. So the tag for this one is Mobile Suit Gundam Series, which is interesting. We already do have a ship that can do this, which is Bright Noah and White Base, if you manage to pull that one. However, this one restores HP, whereas that one restores energy. And as we've seen, We all prefer the HP restoration, especially for PvP or, you know, or some of those fights that you take a lot of damage. So that way you can keep your units alive. I do think the ship is a little bit tempting. And the reason I say this is if you guys took a look at the news that they dropped last night, they did tease that we're going to be getting another Eternal Road stage, and it's going to be focused on Mobile Suit Gundam. So this is them trying to sell the ship, saying like, hey guys, here's this UR supporter warship. It's Mobile Suit Gundam. It works for Eternal Road for that new stage, and it also restores HP, which I think it's very tempting. I think they were a bit, they were kind of smart in using this ship as like the tag and then dropping that news for Eternal Road. But all in all, it's a cool ship, and there's a lot of Mobile Suit Gundam units, so it's very easy to build a team focused on that. There's some pretty powerful units on that, such as the RX-78-2 is one of them. Striker Custom is on that. Char ZAKU 2 is on that, and for sure, you know, the UR units that we just talked about are going to be a part of that as well. So all in all, what do I think of this banner? So even though none of these are going to be limited, I actually do think all of them are pretty good. And if you do decide to pull now, when there's a raid up, you guys, you know, have a shot at having some pretty fantastic solid units. However, if you are free to play or you are a light spender and you're unsure and you already have something that is comparable or even better, then this is probably a skip. I myself might only do a few pulls on this banner, even though I tend to try to get all these units on my whale account so I can showcase them. But like objectively, because none of these are limited, you're not going to be missing out. They are going to be on future banners. So it does give you an opportunity to save, especially if you went hard recently on the Hainu banner, which that featured not only a limited unit, but also a limited supporter warship. But all in all, I think these are all fantastic. I think they're great. I just don't think we should be going too ham for them unless they're your favorites, just because we know that these are not limited. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think of, you know, of the units, of the pilots, of the supporter warship. Also, let me know if you're going to be planning on pulling, and also what alternatives you guys have already kind of strategized, you know, based on what they've teased here. Thank you guys again for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and stay blessed, everybody.